Hi everyone, and welcome to another Friday Family Art Project. I'm Autumn, the Education Coordinator here for Studio 23. If you caught the previous segment with Val, you know that we are covering the art of artist Elise Noble today. And if you got to check out the previous segment, you got to see a few examples of her artwork. And when I got to, I'm familiar with Elise's work because she's headed up in a lot of shows here at Studio 23. And I think one of the biggest things that stick out to me is that she does portraits, just a lot of portraits. And then secondly, what really sticks out to me is that she seems to really have a way of incorporating what almost look to be like fabric patterns into her work, and she does it in such a creative and mindful way, and it looks gorgeous. It's stunning. So I thought, how can I come up with a fun family project that's not too hard, probably wouldn't take nearly as long as the work that Elise does, but something that you could do together as a family. So what I came up with is a portrait project. But this project is actually done, we're going to do pattern, but we're actually going to do it in the style of Zentangles as opposed to fabric, just so, you know, it doesn't take you quite as much time. This is actually a pretty easy project. I know you might not look like it, but it's just a lot of repetition. And then the portrait itself is done by being printed out. So don't worry too much about that either. You don't have to have a ton of drawing experience with it. So as far as supplies go for our project, you're going to want to print out a picture of whomever you are drawing. And I'm drawing yours truly, but you know, you could draw a picture of a family member, whomever you wanted. This would even make a cool gift too, right? So, and you want to make sure your picture is in black and white, and I tried to find something that was like pretty contrasty. Whites are really white, blacks are really black. It just kind of works a little bit better that way if you can do that. And actually a lot of smartphones now, you can just do that right on the phone. You don't even have to have a special app for it. So you're going to want to print out a picture and then something to create your masterpiece on. I am just using regular old cardstock, but you could use paper if you needed. I think that would be fine. Oops. And then I have a black Sharpie marker, a pen, some scissors, a glue stick. I also like to use a little bit of tracing paper, but if you don't have that, I think you could omit it and it would be just fine. And then lastly, to help move along the process of making all these lines and patterns and shapes, I have these really awesome little rulers. These were from the dollar store. I bought them a few years ago back when I was teaching kids classes here all the time. And this was like the best investment ever. I think they're all kind of broken now, but we still keep them just because, if you can see, it's all different lines. So it really just makes this so much easier. So if you can get your hands on these, like I said, these were from the dollar store. I would pick them up because we've done so many things with these at the studio here. And then just like a regular ruler too, in case you want some straight lines. So that's it as far as supplies go. Let me go ahead and make the adjustments on my camera really quickly and we'll get going with this project. Good. So what we're going to want to do is, first of all, I like to, like I said, I like to use the tracing paper. And what I like to do is just kind of, I want to keep the, body down here. I want to know where the shoulders and this scarf are. So I'm just going to really quickly transfer that onto my paper. And like I said, you might not care if you do this part or not. You might just want to create your own body parts outside of the head that we're going to cut out. And I think that's fine too. That's just something that I want to do. So I'm just really quickly going to outline this. And you can get transfer paper anywhere. I think I've even seen it at Walmart, Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, any place like that. It's going to be really easy to get your hands on. It's not very expensive either. So, and this is something we actually use a lot in our classes because it kind of helps expedite art projects and makes them go a little faster. All right, so I'm going to outline my scarf. And that will kind of help too because I'll know where to line up the head on this. If you wanted to, you could even outline the hair a little bit just to give you an idea. You don't have to do that though. All right, so I have my body, my scarf, and I'm good to go on that. All right, so next what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut out the face. Now I'm gonna cut out, I'm gonna cut out the face. I'm not gonna cut out the hair. I am gonna cut out the ear. For this part, you want to get as close as you can to the actual line. So this is a part I might actually take your time on. Just because the closer you can get, the better it's going to look when you're done. Right, just about done. Good enough. So we're just going to take our face and we're going to set that aside for right now, okay? And then we're going to go in and we're going to start creating our designs and some of our patterns and lines. Now, for Zentangles, this is a great project for kids. Even if you didn't do the portrait portion of this, Zentangles are great for kids because you'll notice they kind of get in like the zone, I guess you could say. Once they just start creating all these lines, I don't want to say that it's mindless, but it's so monotonous that they really do, they get in the zone, and you'll see your students they'll quiet down because they're really just getting into this repetitive motion of creating these lines, right? So this is a great project. Portrait or not, this is something great to do with your students. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to just want to decide like what kind of pattern you want. If you're unsure, you could even Google Zentangles and you will get just a ton of different Zentangle patterns, I promise. You'll get so many you won't even know what to do with them all. So here I just kind of have like a bit of a chevron pattern for my scarf. So for me, I'm just going to take one of these rulers because it's going to make it go so much faster. If you didn't have one of these rulers, you could pre-cut like cardboard, so it'd be much easier for your student to make these lines. Anything like that. Old credit cards, you could easily do something like that with that too. And then you're just going to go in with your black marker and you're going to start creating your lines. All right, and just like that, and then from there, once you have the line down, then you can just start to decide, like, okay, how do I want to fill in these lines that I've made? Because if you look on my example, you can see that I kind of filled them in a little bit, right? Because I try to break stuff up, even if just a little bit. So you're just going to go ahead and you're going to start filling them in however you decide. I think I'll stick with my original, so I'll just like that, right? You can do the same exact thing. I'll do the same exact thing right here. And then same exact thing, you're gonna decide what you wanna fill in, what you don't wanna fill in. And then I like to outline it too. I think it helps. First of all, you're covering up that pen mark that you had there. And secondly, it just helps it really, you know, pop. This is a very, you know, this project, you know, it's black and white, so it's really, you know, this is really kind of in your face, like, so it, I don't know, just outline it, makes it look clean. I don't know, I think it just looks better that way. All right, so we got our scarf done. This part, I think the skin tone, I will just leave that. So I will just outline it. And if you have any skin tone sticking out on your portrait, you could do the same, or you could color it in, up to you. And then you're just gonna wanna go in now and decide, like, okay, so down here I have this pattern going on, right? With the shirt, so I would go in and I would take another shape and I would just start throwing that in. And again, just mixing it up, I think, help lends to the feel of the patterns, the fabric patterns that Elise is adding to her pieces. Once you have all your patterns, all your different patterns done, and you can see, like, I really included a lot of different pattern, right? You're gonna wanna go in, and if you want, you could even, before you glue this down, you could even go in and do some hair. And the hair doesn't have to be patterned. You could do, you know, you could do a lot of different things with the hair. You could make it look kind of crazy. My hair always looks kind of crazy, so we'll go with that. I think I kind of gave myself Medusa hair, but if I'm being completely honest, I wake up with Medusa hair all the time, so it's not that far off. And then I could go in and I could add line, or I could add just shape to it, or whatever I choose to do, right? This is where you can get creative with it, and I think that really makes it a lot more fun. So you're gonna go in and you're gonna add all your lines there. Don't forget your background. You want to have as much different pattern and texture in there as possible. Once you are all set and you have all of your lines and patterns and everything going on in there, that's when you're going to want to glue your face on. Super easy. You've already made a line, so you know just where to set it. Just make sure you're getting that glue all the way around the edge. That's going to be the most important part. After that, you know, however you want to put it on, up to you. But if you get it right to the edge, it's going to actually stick. And that'll turn into this once you add all those lines and patterns. So this is my Elise Noble inspired Zentangle portrait, and I hope you go home and try it today. This is a really fun, really great project for everyone. Kids and adults both love Zentangles, excuse me, so I really suggest you go out and try it. that is it for me today. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. And up next is Val. She'll be doing another really cool project for you. I'm excited for you guys to see that too. So I hope you all have a great day, and we'll see you next week. Bye.